Good morning, I'm Jon Thelen. Today on Fish Ed, I'm going to spend the day with my good buddy Jeff Sundin. We're out chasing whatever bites today. We might get some walleyes, we might get some smallmouth. That's kind of what we're expecting. But what we're going to do today is a little bit different. We're going to use a different technique. It's called Wiggle Wormin. It's kind of a hybrid between jigging and Lindy rigging. You're going to want to see this one, so stay right where you're at. Fish Ed's coming up. There's one. Popped it right when I got up on the top here. That actually felt a lot like a walleye. Just all of a sudden some weight there. Just popping this thing along, wiggling it. You know, I mean, when Jeff calls it wiggle worm, and that's exactly what we're doing. I mean, I'm just wiggling that thing along, and that 16th ounce Lindy Live Bait Jig's just kind of dancing along, and that crawler behind is just kind of wiggling along with it. And
still there?
I think he is. I'm giving him a little extra time. I want to make sure of this fish. All right, let's see. Moment of truth. Oh yeah, he's still there.
He's still there.
Yeah. There he is.
There's a puller.
Got him. Yeah, it feels like a walleye. That's what we were saying though earlier. I mean, you look at this morning already. We've caught smallmouth. This one's going to be a walleye, I'm pretty confident. Got rock bass.
I see it.
We figure we got bit off by a pike.
Right.
I mean, we got a little bit of everything going with a technique like this, but I think one of the things about it.
There it is.
Yeah, that's an eye.
Just
it's
like
a really nice walleye too. I think one of the neatest things about a technique like this though, ooh, that's a beautiful fish, isn't it?
Yep.
Look at the size of that walleye. Wow, that's just awesome. But one of the most beautiful parts of what we're doing here is how easy this really is. I mean, all we're doing is just moving along. And, you know, when I asked Jeff, I said, okay, what exactly is wiggle worming? He said, all you're doing is wiggling the worm. You're just kind of moving along and you're just pulling it along and wiggling it as you go. And that is the truth. That's exactly what we're doing. All we're doing is moving along nice and slow and just wiggling that worm as we go. And, you know, a couple things with it, though, that I'll tell you. One is you really do want to use that really lightweight jig. The lighter the jig, the more action you're going to have down there. And I think that really helps in letting that worm just kind of wiggle along there. Look at that. What a beautiful walleye.
That's a nice fish.
Let's get this one back in the water, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this. Now, I'm actually going to have Jeff explain it to you, because he's the one who told me how to do it. And it's working. I mean, this quick. He's been able to show me exactly what he wanted me to do this morning, and the fish are just snapping. There she goes.
Get away all right?
Yep, she's good.
You know, one of the things that's really interesting about this, it sounds like it would be some kind of a really intricate system or something complicated to do, but it's not. When I say wiggle, you know, all we're really doing is keeping the rod tip kind of like steadily. It's always moving, just steady though. You just want to get a little bit of roll in that worm, and it seems like that worm rolling around, kind of fluttering, swimming, that's what gets their attention. If you drag it or jig it or pull it, a lot of times you won't have as much fun with it. But that nice, steady, slow roll, if you want to call it that, nice wiggle, keep it moving all the time. It's amazing how the fish just respond to that. They see that coming through and they just have to have it. One of the best things I've ever done in the middle of the summer. Let's see what this one is this time.
A couple good ones on the screen here. I mean,
yep. Yeah, it looks good.
A little pile of them right here. I'm going to mark this spot while you're messing with that.
Give him some time. I got to give him extra just so I get out around the back of the boat. I'm kind of...
Yeah, I kind of messed you up here. Let me turn the boat for you and see if I can help you.
Got a little go sideways. In fact, I'm gonna go like this.
Go ahead. I'll get out of your way. You just tell me what you need.
He's still there. I'm gonna, yep, got him. Yep, that feels like a good one.
Looks like a good eye. I'm gonna reel in, just get out of your way with the fact we got turned there.
It's all gonna work out.
Perfect.
It's amazing. You're going along, you don't even feel the bottom. You don't have any sensation of where the bottom is. And all of a sudden, something is just tugging on it.
I think that goes to show too that how often fish are just cruising and eating. You know, they're willing to do a lot of different things. Walleyes, bass, whatever it may be, they don't all need to feed right down on the bottom. They're willing to feed all over in the water column up and down. And this is a great example of what can happen.
Isn't that pretty coming through
along?
that clear water? It's not a bad eye.
Oh, that's a good eye. Look at that.
Okay, nice.
Nice fish, bud. Good job. One of the things I want to talk about, let me get that for you right here. And get that off of that hook, you'll be all set. One of the things that...
It's a nice fish.
Hey, that's a great fish. One of the things, though, that I want to make sure everybody understands is one of the keys here is using a light jig. And, you know, so often you feel like you want to pull that 1/4 ounce jig out. I mean, let's face it, we've all fished 1/4 ounce jigs forever. Here you go, bud. Use that. That might... Oh, can you get it?
Actually, I think I will. Yep.
Good sharp hook, and the barb's got them. You know, we're using light jigs, so we're using 16th ounce Lindy Live Bait Jigs. And that's one of the keys here is using that light jig because you can just wiggle it. You can get out away from the boat a little bit. That's a great eye, bud.
Yep.
But you're not really worried about being right under the boat like a jigging technique that you're used to doing. You're more or less just kind of pulling that thing along, aren't you?
That's it.
That's
it. It's not that much different than Lindy rig fishing. That's what we're really doing. It's just keeping it up, keeping it where they can see it. I think I'll drop that one back in, huh?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh.
Get this out of your way.
I could have swore that fish was going to come up and grab it while it was dropping. You know what? He did.
Did he really?
Well, he did now, one way or the other.
And here's the deal. I'm not even in the right spot. I mean, I just moved the boat here to get a new run at this because of the wind. And we saw some fish on the screen, and they're out here really deep, but there is no way that we've got these jigs down as deep as these fish are. It just goes to show you how much they'll move when they see something.
Right.
Because, I mean, I'm a long ways from where, when I say a long ways, I'm a city block away from where I really wanted to be here. And I figured, well, we'll just limp our way back there with the trolling motor.
Well, let's see.
Still there?
I believe he is. I'm kind of out of position.
Got him?
I'm somewhere. Yep. I got him.
And that's on me because trying to figure out where your line is right now with that turn I made trying to get back into the wind, I'm just going to reel in and get out of Jeff's way here. Looks like a good one, huh?
Feels good.
Good. Oh yeah, another great eye. Look at that. That's a great way to wrap it up there, my friend. Look at how beautiful dark that fish is. And get him right out of the net. I'm going to do this for you. Look at that. What a great way to wrap up the day. Let me tell you, what we're doing today, what we've done this morning is just a deadly technique, and it's one of those things that's so easy to overlook. You know, I mean, just sitting there wiggling this worm along, and like I say, if I wouldn't have read about it on Jeff's website, I don't think I'd be here today fishing with him. I wanted to come and learn how to do this, and I'll tell you what, you want to talk about effective smallmouth bass, walleyes, pike, whatever it may be, weeds, mid-lake structure, doesn't matter. Just wiggling that worm along, put it behind a Lindy Live Bait Jig, and I'll tell you what,
works for us guys,
Let's get that guy back. What a great day of fishing.